Money was tight. I couldn't make enough. Was looking for another job.
I was a controller at a trucking company. Got shut down. I had a person in my home who was exceptionally medically challenged. Two people, actually. I just was so overwhelmed.
I got laid off twice, once in March and once in August. And in August 2021, I told myself, I'm done.
And it was the same thing over and over again. It was, go to work, do a good job, and then see the people that I reported to get promoted. And
determine what's next for you after this week. Okay, I want you to be like those people you just heard from. A lot of them were in, kind of some tough situations, and they just learned bookkeeping. They learned how to get clients, and when I say it's life changing, I think we can all agree that some of the things we heard were pretty life changing. And so, if that's something that you'd like to make happen for yourself, you are in the right spot. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen here, and we will get to it. We'll walk through exactly how everything works.
Money was tight. I couldn't make enough. Was looking for another job.
I was a controller at a trucking company. Got shut down. I had a person in my home who was
Money was tight. I couldn't make enough. Was looking for another job.
I was a controller at a trucking company. Got shut down. I had a person in my home who was exceptionally medically challenged. Two people, actually. I just was so overwhelmed.
I got laid off twice, once in March and once in August. And in August 2021, I told myself, I'm done.
And it was the same thing over and over again. It was, go to work, do a good job, and then see the people that I reported to get promoted and get more money and get more vacation time and everything else. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, something's not right here.
Like many others, I lost my job in May and had absolutely no hope of replacing my salary. I was the breadwinner, so I was in a massive panic. I was afraid of losing our house.
As we came out of COVID, our business was shut down like the rest of the world. So we had outgo, but no income. I just decided to stop, shut it all down, move on. And so we took a total loss in that business. I had to start over again. So I had nothing coming in. I was actually bleeding out.
Before the bookkeeping business, I was working 45 hours to 50 hours a week. And then on most weekends, I would be in the office working. Being a single mom with 3 children and working that many hours was very, very not fun.
I was a director of a private country club when I got laid off. And, I was doing 10, 12 hours a day. Evenings, weekends, holidays, you name it. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all of it.
So I was laid off and got to think about what was important to me. Started thinking about, what's my next step going to be? And so the idea of being my own boss for the first time ever was very appealing to me and something I'd never done in my life.
It was like 10, 12, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, sometimes 7.
I was working at a bank as a part-time banker. I am a mama to 4 little ones. I had a little one that was sick. And I was juggling banking life and home life as a mom. And I was looking for something I could do remotely from home.
So I ended up in a unwanted divorce. First of all, I'm a mother of 4. My youngest daughter was expecting her first, and I was hitting 50 years old and no longer had a home, didn't have income, and was very broken and scared and hurt.
My life was work. I had a family, I had a son, and going back to that lifestyle became very quickly apparent to me that it was not going to align with the life I wanted to live. I kind of felt like the walls were closing in around me.
So the main thing was that, well, I needed to bring in some sort of income for my family because my husband's business took a big hit. So I felt like, well, I needed to do something for my family as well.
And I started looking into the ways to where I can maybe train myself to do something different or look into different opportunities.
I reached out to a girlfriend who had been a bookkeeper before, but I didn't really know like what a bookkeeper was or, what she really did. And she was like, yeah, I used to do this, this, and this. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I could do.
And I was like, man, I should really do that. You can really do that? Do bookkeeping from home and have your own business? I was like, I'm blown away.
So today is my first day as a full-time bookkeeper, not working my 40-hour job. I work for myself now.
That year in 21, I did about $75,000. In 22, did just under $225,000.
I'm at close to $8,000 a month.
Just under $5,500 a month.
Over 6 figures.
I'm going to be at $6,500 by the time I bill on March 1st.
We were doing 15 to 35 the end of last year.
I gross over $100,000 a year now.
For recurring on a monthly basis, I'm just about at $5,000 a month.
I have 21 clients, and I just recently passed 6 figures. I love the flexibility of what I do. There's times where I decide I'm going to work at night because it's easier for me once the kids go down to bed.
I've reached the 100K club. I've got a successful business, about 25 clients where I am my own boss. I make my own time. So it's like the more effort I put into my day, the faster I can get done with my day, and then I have time with my family.
I doubled my income in that first year. I own my own time. It doesn't mean I don't have to work, and I don't have to work hard, or I don't have to work smart, but I get to choose, and that's you can't put a price on that.
My oldest daughter, she didn't get to see me. We didn't get to build that mother-daughter relationship. And I was working 3 jobs at a time. She was my caretaker of her siblings. And then the last year, I've been more present. This last summer, we spent a lot of time camping and beach days and just having the full freedom. I mean, I quit that 9 to 5 in April, so starting May 1st, I was free.
I just love the freedom, and I just love that it helps support my family. I can help bring in extra money, and I just kind of feel like I'm in control.
We work from home, so we have the freedom to come and go. We just got back from 30 days in Taiwan and the Philippines, so you really can't. It's difficult to do that, I would say, with brick and mortar type businesses.
My children are very, very proud of me because of this. I don't have more than a 7th grade education. I got taken out of school when I was in 7th grade and I never had a chance to go back. I just closed 2023 at $330,000. I needed it for my daughters. I wanted to show them that you can do anything you set your mind to, no matter where you come from.
The stress level is way down. When you're building a business, you work a lot, but the billing is different. You enjoy it and you have fun, but that feeling of I'm in control is something else.
I'm back in the saddle. I've got my joy back, my confidence back. I'm my own boss. I can wake up when I want. I don't have anybody I have to answer to except for myself, and it is the most amazing feeling in the whole world.
I was like, wow, I'm making money. I'm actually instead of spending money, I'm making money and bringing it home. So it's just, of course, it's lowered stress levels for me.
I never imagined that I would be working 20 hours a week, making over $100,000 a year. That's just who is that? Me? Was that me that did that?
I was in a complete panic, and this career has shown me that I don't ever have to worry about that again. That is life-changing.
I get to live and stay where I wanted to stay. I didn't have to move, into another location that I didn't want to. And my next goal is to start building next year and pay cash for my home.
I get to make my own schedule. Life is great.
But where I'm at now, I'm just blessed.
And one of the things that I'm most proud of is my award that I received. It's the 50K Club Award.
I got that 50,000 one.
My 75.
My award. Hi, I did the thing. Yeah. I have my 100K, and it's real.
The accounting world is a different world. It's a different ballgame, but anybody can do it.
I didn't know what QuickBooks Online was, the basics of accounting. I was like, what? So I was able to learn everything just piece by piece and build upon it.
You don't have to know accounting. You don't have to know bookkeeping. You don't even have to know math.
You don't need to have a degree. You don't need to be a master's in bookkeeping to start. Anybody can do it.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
If you're willing to put in the work, you can learn it.
If I can do this, anyone can do this.
If I can learn it, anyone can learn it, I promise.
One of the things I was most concerned about was getting clients.
There's a lot of people looking for bookkeeping. Every small business in America or in the world needs a bookkeeper.
They come from every walk, every direction you turn. There's clients. There's clients on LinkedIn. There's clients on Facebook. There's clients on Google, Yelp, CPA's office, the guy walking down the street, the person that owns a restaurant that you buy sandwiches from. There is a need for a bookkeeper everywhere, and I have gotten them from every corner of the earth, I swear.
And the reality is there are like tens of millions of businesses in America, and every single one of them needs good bookkeeping.
Once you start getting clients, then as you grow, you're going to start getting referrals. Start helping people find you.
I would say if you're thinking about going to this business, doing bookkeeping, I say go for it, make it happen.
Your chances of success are very high. Bookkeeping is in very high demand. There's businesses being opened and started every year. Every month there's new businesses, so there's a high demand for these services.
I would definitely say take the chance. You don't have to be in the background in that field.
I was like, what if it's not going to work? How am I going to pay my bills? But you'll just have to put your heart to it.
Anybody willing to do the work, the chance of success is practically 100%.
So for the ones that are wanting to go into it, you're going to be successful. You have to be, because the demand for us is greater than we
Oh, yeah? Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. You are your most valuable asset. Start today.
Hey there, welcome to the Keyboard Rich breakout session. Welcome. I wanted you to hear some real stories from real people who went through the exact same training you went through this week, and they didn't do one thing at the end of the week. They didn't stop, okay? You are now in a position where you've made some incredible progress, and you've got a decision to make. You're going to keep moving, or are you going to let something happen? You're going to let life happen and stop, okay? As you've seen, I've showed you the proof, and I've introduced you to some people, lots of people that you just heard from that didn't stop. They just kept moving. This is available. This dream life that you calculated, this thing that you envisioned on day one, is available to any of you as long as you keep moving. So this breakout session right now is your opportunity to learn how to take what you've learned this week and move forward. And not just to get to where you want to be, but to get there quickly. Okay, there is no time to waste. There is no reason why you shouldn't be living that life now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk through everything that you need and all of your options so that you can determine what's next for you after this week. Okay, I want you to be like those people you just heard from. A lot of them were in, kind of some tough situations, and they just learned bookkeeping. They learned how to get clients. And, when I say it's life-changing, I think we can all agree that some of the things we heard were pretty life-changing. And so if that's something that you'd like to make happen for yourself, you are in the right spot. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen here, and we will get to it. We'll walk through exactly how everything works. Okay, so let's start off with a quick recap of what we covered this week. Okay, what are the stuff that we did this week? Well, we covered exactly what you need to get your business started. On day one, we know exactly what we need. I mean, most of you have your businesses up. some of you don't even need your business license. And if you do, you've already gotten it. So you got everything you need to get your business started. We went over how to do some bookkeeping and check to make sure that the work is accurate. So days 2 and 3, we were in QuickBooks building our confidence. Today, we talked about how to market and get clients. Even if you're brand new, you can get all the clients you want. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about what to say to prospects to get them to become clients. Now that our marketing is working for us and they're reaching out, what do we say? Okay. And then also tomorrow, we're going to go over some guidelines on how to price your services. Okay. How much to charge? Okay. Do you guys think you can be successful with this stuff? I hope I'm hearing some yeses out there, because the truth is this is all you need. Okay. You just need to know how to do bookkeeping, know how to get clients, know how much to charge. And I'm giving you some really cool tips and tricks along the way. So everybody can be successful with the stuff I've covered. But how many of you feel like this? Okay. How many of you feel like you're kind of drinking from a fire hose? Okay. We went through a lot this week, and we've got more tomorrow. So we went through a lot of information. We went for an hour and a half each day. What is that? 7.5 hours over the course of the week. I tried to give you as much as I could. Okay, I tried to cram as much in, as much teaching in as I could, but I don't want you to leave overwhelmed. That wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't for your head to be spinning at the end of all of this. I just wanted you to see what's possible, what you can have if you're willing to do the work for it. Okay, I wanted you to see what's possible and to build the belief that you can do this, because guess what? Anybody can do it. I've seen it only happen 8,000 plus times. Okay, but what I covered this week, considering we only had a limited amount of time, only scratches the surface of what's involved in running a really successful bookkeeping business that makes as much money as you'd like it to make. Okay. It's probably about 1% of what it takes to create a successful 6-figure bookkeeping business. But I tried to give you as much as I could. Okay. But there's a lot more. There's a lot more to it, as I'm sure you can appreciate. But again, like I said, we start simple and build up from there. So, we all know QuickBooks does a lot. There are thousands of different buttons that you can possibly click in QuickBooks. When it comes to doing the actual monthly work with clients, okay, now we know how to use QuickBooks, but what does that look like? What do we do day 1, day 2, day 3 throughout the month? Okay. When you're in QuickBooks, understanding what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, what's going on behind the scenes with the financial statements, and what are things like debits and credits and some of those accounting principles that we need to understand. Getting certified. We talked about getting certified, but that's a process that can be pretty arduous for people. We covered 2 of the best marketing strategies that you can use to get clients, but what are all of the other most effective marketing strategies that you can be using? Okay, if you want to get there quickly, you want to be using them all. Okay, we talked about how to write your profiles. We gave you some pointers on what to say in your value proposition, but how do you write that whole thing? We need to write that whole thing. When it comes to pricing, how do you price every single set of books that comes your way? Okay, somebody who needs monthly bookkeeping, every client's a little unique. Some clients, in fact, over 50% of clients that come to you will need catch-up and cleanup engagement, cleaning up a messy set of books. How much do you charge for those? Okay. Tomorrow we're going to talk about a simple script you can use when you're talking to potential clients. But how do you have that full conversation? Okay, there's a lot to this stuff. Okay, but my goal for this week was to give you what you needed to get started. And for some clients, the work we did this week is all you'll ever do. Okay, some of those small clients. But this week, I really wanted to help you do the most difficult thing you will ever do when it comes to starting your business, which was just get started. Just get started and learn the foundations, learn the principles, because most people never get started. So if you're on and you're listening to me right now, congratulations. You have gotten started. But now you're facing the second most difficult thing that you'll encounter with your business, and that's just not stopping. I've seen it happen before, but a lot, like most of you, in reality, life will come up and something will happen, and you won't continue carrying this gift forward that you've been given. And that's a shame. I don't want that to happen. Okay. The other thing I really wanted to do this week was give you that belief that you can do this. You can absolutely have that life that you want. Okay. You've seen it time and time again. You've seen the proof. Okay. So what I did was I created what I feel is the fastest and best way to help you go from where you are now to where you want to be. Okay, there's a lot more that we weren't able to cover during the week, and I have created a comprehensive mentorship program where I have included everything you need to start a successful bookkeeping business, to get you to that dream life that you calculated on day one, to get you there quickly, take out the guesswork so that you can say goodbye to whatever situation you're in right now that isn't serving you, and get you to where you want to be. Okay, and this is the same mentorship program that over 8,000 people have gone through. You see all these people holding their 100K Club awards, but it's over 8,000 people. You've heard from some of them, Ibrahim and Heidi, and you heard from, probably about 20 or 30 people on the video that we just played. And they're all running successful bookkeeping businesses, and they were able to do that quickly. Okay. And this is just a tiny fraction of the people who we give out awards to. We give out like 50 of these awards every single month. Okay. And these awards, these are 100K Club awards, but we give 50K and 75K Club awards. But they represent money and income, but also freedom. They represent freedom. Ibrahim's able to spend time with his family. So is Heidi, because money's important, but at some point, the freedom and flexibility becomes just as important. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this option. You have options moving forward. We will talk about those. But in terms of my mentorship program and how I work closely with people, help take you by the hand and walk you through this entire process and take out all the guesswork. I'll talk a little bit about how it works, okay, and what's included if you decide to continue working together with me, okay? And in my mentorship program, the first thing you get are access to on-demand training videos that teach you every step of the process. Okay, so if you remember yesterday and the day before, you were following along with me in QuickBooks. And so you're able to access videos that walk you through everything. Okay, from setting up your business to learning QuickBooks to getting clients, step-by-step videos. Okay, and I want to show you a little bit about what you get access to, what that looks like. Okay, so you get login information to our course platform. And when you log in, you see all of these videos. There are over 250 videos that cover everything. So real briefly, I'll just kind of run through what you get, but this is like 100 hours worth of stuff, okay? But it's not overwhelming because you just take it step by step. That's how we learned everything that we learned this week. Module number 1, this is a group of videos that just show you how to get started and how to make the fastest, most efficient progress through the program, okay, through the course. Module number 2, we go into setting up your business. So we go really deep into topics like insurance, LLCs, your EIN number, all the different tools that you need to work remotely. We go into all the different apps and all that stuff. Okay, so we make sure that your business is set up for success. Module number 3, this is a little bit, this is related to when I talked about what's happening behind the scenes in QuickBooks. There are accounting fundamentals that are really important for you to know. Okay, debits and credits and all of the different financial statements. We go deep so that you have a very solid understanding that you're taking good care of your clients. You know what's happening behind the scenes. When you do something in QuickBooks, you know how that's affecting the financial statements. Then we get into QuickBooks Mastery. We ensure that you know QuickBooks inside and out. Okay, all those little buttons and the gear menu and the new menu and all those things that could get overwhelming. Well, you'll become an expert and you'll know exactly how to use all those things. Okay, so we go deep there. Module number 5, I'll talk more about QuickBooks certifications. We talked earlier today how important it was to pass those 3 certifications. We guarantee that you pass them all quickly and easily. Okay, I'll talk about more about that in a minute. Okay, module number 6 is monthly bookkeeping service delivery. Okay, module 4 is all about using QuickBooks. All right, you got to learn how to use QuickBooks. But module 6, okay, now what does it look like when we do this work for clients on a monthly basis? What are we doing? When do we do it? When do we do payroll? How do we know we need to do payroll? How do we know we need to do sales tax? Where does it fall in the process? So imagine sitting in front of a client and, not having to guess on what to do first, second, third, all throughout the month. Okay, you'll know exactly what to do when it comes to that client. Okay, so module number 7 is arguably the most popular module and group of lessons in the program. So these are all of the most effective marketing strategies you want to be using to grow your business. Okay, they're like what we discussed today. So they're simple. Anybody can use them. Anybody can implement them, but it's got to be done properly. Okay. So we go in deep. Like the Pro Advisor lesson is, I don't know, over an hour. The LinkedIn lesson is like 2 hours and 40 minutes long. We make sure that you know how to use those platforms and use those properly. So we cover all of those things, and you want all of those things up so that you can grow at the speed that you want to grow at, and so that you also have the ability to pick and choose who you work with. Okay? No more like feeling like, oh, I got to take every single client that comes my way. No. Getting your marketing done right is the answer to pretty much every problem you'll ever have in your business. Okay? A client is, getting a little too needy or overbearing, or they just keep asking you to do things that are outside of what you've been brought on to do. Well, you move on, because you've got a whole line of people waiting to work with you because your marketing is working for you. So we make sure you get that all set up. Pricing your services, okay? Exactly how much to charge every single unique type of client that comes your way. Whether it be monthly bookkeeping, cleanup jobs, where a client has a messy set of books, or catch up, they haven't been doing their bookkeeping, all of that stuff. You'll be able to price those. I'll talk more about pricing later and how we make that really easy for you. Module number 9 is closing the deal. Okay, now closing, I'm not a big fan of that terminology, but it's descriptive, right? This isn't closing, this isn't selling, this is just how to have that full conversation with potential clients so that they, transition easily into a signed engagement letter and they become a paying customer. Okay, so exactly how to have that full conversation with potential clients. Module number 10, I'll talk more about our weekly coaching calls here in a minute, but we record those and we post them here in the group. If I go to the next page, you will see that you also get access to some bonuses. I'll talk about those here in a minute. And then cleanup training. Okay, we'll talk more about cleanup training, but we train you on how to clean up a messy set of books. Okay, so you get access to all those videos, again, over 250 of them, and they are bite-sized. Okay, they're easy to consume. They're an average of 8 minutes in length. Okay, an average. We have some that are longer, but in average 8 minutes in length, so you can squeeze these in when you have time. Okay, so you're able to do that whenever you have time. I know people have started on the side of a full-time job and all of those different types of things. So you have the flexibility to move through them at your own speed. So these are self-paced. Okay, you move through at your own speed. You want to binge watch these and get your business up quickly? Done. Okay, you want to take your time and review things slowly? That's okay too. Okay, so that's the first thing you get. You get the on-demand training videos that teach you every step of the process. That's a $29.97 value. Okay, value. Okay, value is what you get, not what you pay. So that's a $29.97 value for the training videos. And I wouldn't be a good mentor. For those of you who are in VIP, you saw this. I wouldn't be a good mentor if I just threw a bunch of training videos at you and said, good luck. Okay, we support you. We give you all kinds of support because you're going to have questions along the way, just like you did in VIP. And so to help you with that, you get 3 personal coaches in addition to me so that you never get stuck. So you get me, and you get Carrie, and you get Tim, and you get Tom, and you get all this support so that you never get stuck. And what do your coaches help you with? Well, we help you learn QuickBooks. We help you learn how to do the monthly work for clients. We help you write your marketing. We'll help you write that. Okay, so you don't have to worry about wondering what to write about yourself. We will help you set up your marketing. We will help you do the work for clients. Okay, so it happens. We've had people get clients during the challenge. We've had people get clients right after the challenge. They just start the mentorship program. They get this $2,000 a month client. I don't want you to say no to that client. That client could pay you $24,000 over the course of the year. Ibrahim just got one that pays $3,000. I don't want you to say no to that client. I want you to be able to feel like you can handle that work. And so if you're not comfortable doing the work yet, we'll help you with it. And we'll do that as much as we need to until you're comfortable doing things on your own. Okay, don't turn away clients, paying clients. So you got 3 personal coaches so that you never get stuck, and we help you with everything, help you get certified, all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's a $29.97 value, access to all of those coaches. And again, that's 3 coaches in addition to your old friend, Bill. Okay, then we also provide support through our weekly Zoom coaching calls. We have multiple calls throughout the week where you come on, and it's a small group of people, and we just answer all your questions. Okay, so I don't want you guys out there trying to figure things out on your own. It's going to take you years to try to figure things out. You have a question, you come ask us. Okay, we get on this coaching call. We, share our screen and we walk through things, and we just answer your question, whether it be about QuickBooks or getting clients or anything. We'll review your marketing, all of that stuff. So you're able to come on the calls that you want to come on. You come on as many calls as you want. Okay, so you get access to all those, and that's a $19.97 value. Total value so far is $79.91. Okay, the next thing you get is you get unlimited email support. Okay, we've got lots of coaching calls throughout the week, but I don't want you to feel like you have to wait for a coaching call. You email us, okay? And we actually handle all kinds of simple and complex issues through email because you send us screenshots, reports, screen recordings. There are tools where you can record your screen and show us what you're seeing, and we'll send you a video back where we'll walk you through something. That's like your own personal training video that you can hang on to in case that issue comes up again, okay? So we handle everything through email. Just send it to us, okay? Just send it to us and we'll get back to you. So you get unlimited email support, and that's a $19.97 value, okay? Then you get access to our private Facebook student community. So you are all in the Keyboard Rich Facebook group, and you've seen how great it is to be around like-minded people and to support each other. And we have the same thing. When you become a member of the mentorship program, you go into the private Facebook student community, and this is a community of people that are, we've got new people in there, but we've got people also in there. Ibrahim's in there and Heidi's in there, people that have experienced and been doing this a long time that now are helping out answering questions. So you can ask questions, you can get support. We've got tons of people with tax expertise. We got tons of people in that Facebook group with industry specific expertise. A construction company comes to you and wants to work with you. Guess what? We've got construction company experts in there that can help you through things. Okay. So it's a really great place where we, support each other, lift each other up. You saw Heidi posting her pictures of her with her child and her awards. So we celebrate each other's wins as well. So it's a really great group of people that walk with you every step of the way. Okay, so you get access to the private Facebook student community. That's a $9.97 value. Total value, $985, excuse me. Then the next thing you get is guaranteed QuickBooks certification. I talked today about how important it is to get certified. You've got to get those points so that you can get that profile listed, that ProAdvisor profile. Again, Ibrahim got 2 clients this week from it, but that'll be a very valuable way for you to get clients, and you need to get certified. You've got the basic certification that you have to pass, the advanced certification, and the payroll certification. The basics, like a 5 to 6 out of 10 in terms of difficulty, a 5 or a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. The advanced and payroll are a 10 out of 10. Okay, forget about it. If you plan to try to use if you've been through any of that training inside your free QuickBooks account, you know it is sorely lacking and does not prepare you to pass the exams, let alone prepare you to work with clients. Forget about that. Okay? It means nothing. Okay? In fact, being certified really means nothing. The reason I encourage you to do it is because it opens up that marketing opportunity. Okay? So we don't want you to, I've seen people fail the advanced and payroll time after time, and it's 6 months past before they come to me and we just help you pass it. We guarantee that you pass. We've created our own proprietary materials that contain everything you need to know to pass. You can have our materials up while you're taking the exam, and it just contains everything you need. Okay, so don't get locked out. Don't take don't take 6 months and a year getting locked out of exams to get to where you want to be. Because if you don't pass within 3 tries, you get locked out for 60 days. Okay, so we make sure that you get there quickly. That's a $9.97 value. Okay. Then you get the pricing calculator. So I talked a little bit about how to price, monthly bookkeeping engagements, how to price cleanup services and catch-up services. You're going to have lots of unique clients that come to you. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some guidelines, but what's an exact number that you can give them? Take out all the guesswork so that you're not charging too much and you're not charging too little. All right. What you're going to do is you're going to have a consultation with your client. You're going to get some information from them. You'll put it into this pricing calculator that we've created, and it just gives you a monthly fee, and you can move forward with confidence that that's the right amount to charge. Okay. So takes out all the guesswork. Do not get trapped in an engagement of working with a client that's paying you way too little for way too much work. Charge your worth. Okay, so we help you do that easily. That pricing calculator is a $9.97 value. If you buy that separately, we don't offer it separately, but if I were to offer it separately, that's what I would charge for it. Total value $12,979 so far, $12,979. Then you get access to that cleanup training that you saw in the modules. Okay, over 50% of the clients that come to you will need their books cleaned up. They'll have a messy set of books, and it'll be your job to do that. Cleanup engagements can be very tricky, very, very tricky, okay? That being said, like sometimes you'll get into a client's set of books and it's like, did you do this on purpose? Did you try to mess these up on purpose? But anyway, even though they're difficult, you learn a lot when you do cleanups. You'll learn a ton. And then number two is they're very lucrative. Ibrahim just charged $2,000 for a cleanup. That's like $2,000 is kind of like the lowest you'll charge for a year. You'll charge anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 to clean up a year's worth of books. We've had people charge $14,000, $21,000 to clean up multiple years. Okay, so really lucrative as well. And so we walk you through exactly how to do those. We've got that training. But then again, remember, you've got your coaches that help you with it. So if you ever get stuck, we help you with that work. Okay, so you get access to that cleanup training. That's a $997 value. And then you get a consultation call outline. I'm going to talk a little bit tomorrow about that script that you want to use, those questions you want to ask to get prospects to want to work with you. But how do you have that full conversation? What are all the questions that you need to ask? How do you handle that? Well, you just have the outline in front of you and you just check the boxes as you go and you guide that conversation. And again, this isn't about selling yourself. You're not selling yourself. You're doing the things we did earlier today. We're just talking about features and benefits, and we're asking the client all the right questions. Okay, so I'll show you exactly what those are, and you just follow the outline. Okay, follow the outline. And that's a $997 value. Total value $14,973. And then you get checklists and templates. Okay, you get all the checklists and templates that you'll need to run your business. So we're talking about the engagement letter. We've talked about the engagement letter a lot this week. You have to have an engagement letter. It has to be reviewed by an attorney because it has to protect you. It is the rules of the engagement, the contract that you and the client sign. Here's how it's going to work. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm not going to do. So you can very clearly define the scope. So, hey, you don't get to ask me to do all kinds of other crazy stuff that's not related. Here's how much I'm going to charge. Here's my responsibilities. Here are your responsibilities to get me information, and all the legal protections that you're going to want to that you're going to need. Okay, and you'll sign this with every client. So we give you that template. It's been reviewed by an attorney. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so don't go spend hundreds of dollars which you would spend to get an attorney to draft one up. We'll just give it to you. We also have got proposal templates. We've got payment authorization forms. We're going to talk tomorrow about how we charge our clients the first of every month, and we're going to do that automatically through QuickBooks. We need their credit card or bank information. We've got to have that information to charge them. So we've got the forms to do that. You're going to get checklists. So when you onboard a client, what are all the things you need? When you do the monthly bookkeeping work, what are all the things that you need to be doing throughout the month? So you just check them off. Okay, so you get access to all those checklists and templates so that you're working efficiently. I want to, again, make sure that you have everything that you need. Okay, so those are a $997 value. And then you get 1 full year of access to everything, to the checklists and templates and the consultation outline, the cleanup training, the pricing calculator, the certification, all the support, us helping you with everything in the videos. You get 1 full year of access to everything. Okay, but you don't take it. You just get it done as quickly as you can. Okay, but you have 1 full year, and that's a $997 value, which represents everything that you get here. A total value of $16,967. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Because that's a lot of value, right? Value is what you get. If all this if all my mentorship program did was help you build a bookkeeping business that allowed you to make $50K, $75K, or over $100K per year, would it be worth it? Would it be worth $17,000 to make $50K, $75K, or $100K per year in your business? I think we can agree that it would be. That would be a pretty good return on your investment, one that you can't find anywhere else. Okay? If all this did was make you a QuickBooks expert, that you were able to confidently handle any client's books, would it be worth it? Would it be worth $17,000 to have this superpower, this valuable skill, and we could handle any client's set of books? Would it be worth it? If all this did was teach you exactly how to market yourself to get all the clients you want, would it be worth it? Okay, you've got this valuable skill, and now you know exactly how to get all the clients you need. You've kind of got like an ATM machine, right? Because you can just get clients on demand. Would it be worth it? I think we can agree that it would be. It would be a good return on your investment. So you can see why it would be a good deal at $17,000, not just financially with that return on investment, but think about what it does for your life and the freedom that you can experience with this. Okay, it's about richness in all aspects of your life. Okay. But when I was considering like, hey, where should I set the investment for my mentorship program? I want to make it accessible to people. I had two choices. Okay, I had two choices. And the first option was I could just make it as cheap as possible so I could sell as many as possible. That was one option. All right. The problem with that is then I have to skimp out on the value that I give to you. Okay. I hope that you guys have seen during this week that I care about you guys. Okay. I'm giving you all of me this week, as much as I can give and as much as you need to get started. And we have a full staff of support people that are here to help you reach your goals because we care about you. You've got the A team, and then you haven't even met our QuickBooks experts and marketing experts yet. You'll meet them when you join the mentorship program. But we have a full staff of people, and because we provide you a full solution. We don't just give you, a bunch of videos and say good luck. Then we could go cheap, but you're going to need support. You're going to need help. And for me to give you all of that, making it as cheap as possible was not a great option. So I didn't want to do that. I could sell a lot more, but that's not going to serve you. That's not going to help you get to your goals. Okay. And the second option I had was I could just charge more so that I could just devote more time and resources to help guarantee your success. Okay. You've got now it's grown to considering the A team and, our support people. When you join the mentorship program, we've got almost 10 people here that help you get to where you want to be. This isn't hoping that you get there. We just get you there. Okay. And I want you to have everything you need to do that. So that's what I did. I decided to charge a little bit more so that I could give you more. Okay, so again, my Booming Bookkeeping Mentorship Program, you get access to the on-demand training videos that teach you every single step of the process. You go through them at your own pace. Okay, they'll teach you everything. But you're going to have questions. So you have 3 personal coaches that you can reach out to so you never get stuck. Okay, and so you'll contact us and work with us through the weekly Zoom coaching calls. We'll share screens and figure out what you're dealing with and get you past those issues. You can email us as many times as you want. You have access to the private Facebook group where we're all active in there so that you get the support you need. You almost get on-demand answers to your questions in the Facebook group. It's a really great community of people. You get guaranteed QuickBooks certification so you don't have to struggle with those exams. For those of you who are not fans of exams, we just get you past them. Again, just getting past them is the goal, okay? Because being certified doesn't mean you're ready to work with clients, but we want that marketing. We want that marketing up there. We'll make sure we get you ready to work with clients through our training. Okay. So we guarantee that you do that. You get the pricing calculator, so you never have to guess on how much to charge your clients. You get the cleanup training so that you're able to handle those complex cleanup jobs, and we'll help you do it. Okay. We'll help you do it. We'll help you write your marketing. We'll help you do everything. You get the consultation call outline, so you know exactly how to conduct those conversations with potential clients. You get the checklists and templates, the engagement letter that's been reviewed by an attorney, all that stuff. You don't have to worry about anything slipping through the cracks. And then you get 1 full year of access. Okay, you get 1 full year of access for $997 value. The total value of everything was like $17,000. But you guys have made this your week. Okay, you guys have showed up. You've put in the work. Again, we had more people here on day 1. Okay, we've lost some people along the way. They weren't willing to do the work, but you guys are here and you're doing the work. I see you doing your homework. And as you know, like I'm giving away prizes for the people who do the homework, I want to do something special for you guys. I really want to do as much as I can to give you as much as you need to get to where you want to be and be successful. Okay, so if you feel like my mentorship program is right for you and you're like, hey, Bill, let's just do this. I'm in and you're my guy. And I do want somebody to support me through this process because I'm going to have questions. I'm going to run into roadblocks and I don't want to guess and struggle. Then I've made it as accessible as I can make it for you. And if that's something that you feel like works for you, you can get started in my mentorship program today for just 1 payment of $49.97, or you can do 3 payments of $19.97. Okay, you can choose whichever one you want. You can do 1 payment of $49.97 or 3 payments of $19.97. So if you do the payment plan, it's a little bit more expensive because of, interest and the administrative costs of, doing a payment plan. So, if you pay it in full, it ends up being a little cheaper. So that's basically what it is. Okay. And if that's something that feels like it makes sense to you, that, hey, this is what I need and this is what I want to get to where I want to be and to get there quickly, then all you got to do to save your spot, okay, you got to save your spot right now with a deposit of $997, okay? And Anna, if you want to open up the chat and put the link into the chat. You go to keyboardrich.com/yes. Okay, go to keyboardrich.com/yes. You will make your deposit payment of $9.97. Okay, and then you go to the next page. Once you submit that page, you go to the next page, and there's a DocuSign. Okay, and you'll fill out the DocuSign. It's just an agreement that says, okay, here's what you're going to get and how everything works. Okay, once you sign the DocuSign, then you go to a page where you'll make the balance of your payment. Okay, so again, if you're doing the one payment, since you've paid the $9.97 deposit, the balance would be $4,000. Okay, if you're doing the payment plan, here's how that works. So you do the $9.97 deposit, you DocuSign, and then the next page, you just make the balance of the first payment. So that would be $1,000. Okay, $1,000. And then in 30 days, the next $19.97 will be charged, and then 30 days later, the final $19.97 would be charged. Okay, monthly payments. Okay, so that's how it works. Here's the deal. I know some people need time to move money around, I want you to take the time and consider and make the decision that's right for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is you have until Sunday at midnight Pacific time to put down your deposit and save your spot. We are going to close the mentorship program down, enrollment down on Sunday at midnight Pacific time. Okay, I don't leave it open. If I just left the enrollment open, just anybody could sign up at any time, we would not be able to support an unlimited number of people. We can't do that. So we only open it up for a brief period of time. That's not to pressure you. You have a few days. You have until Sunday night to consider if this is right for you and to put down your deposit. Okay. But if you want to save your spot, put down your deposit now. Go to keyboardrich.com/yes. That link is in the chat. You just click that. And if you put the HTTPS in front of it, make sure that they can click on it. You go there, put down your deposit, and that's how it works. So enrollment, you want your deposit in by Sunday at midnight. If again, sometimes people need some time to move money around. You have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment. Okay, to make the balance of your payment, because I want to give you the time to move things around. But you don't get your login information for the mentorship program until you make the balance of your payment. So what you're going to want to do is put down your deposit, do the DocuSign, and make the balance of your payment as soon as possible. We'll give you the login information, and you will just get started. Well, we'll get started. Okay, some of you will be certified. Some of you might be certified, pass the first certification by tomorrow. Okay, those of you joining. Okay, so that's how it works. On Monday, okay, on Monday we are going to have a welcome party. We're all going to get together, and it'll be a chance for you to meet your support team. That'll be Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The welcome party is not necessary. Okay, welcome party is not necessary, but it's a chance for you to come on and meet your entire support team. You'll meet the A team and Carrie and Tim and Tom, and of course I'll be there. I'll probably be wearing a black t-shirt. So hopefully that doesn't creep you out too much, but yeah, we just get started. Okay. So yeah, you put down your deposit, and you have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment, but you don't get your login information until you do. Okay. Consider one client more than pays for the cost of this program and the help that you're going to get. Okay. My goal here was to just take out as much of the confusion and as much as the struggle. And so I just help you with everything. So you don't have to guess and, all of that stuff. So, Abraham talked about closing a client, $3,000 a month, paid him $2,000 for the cleanup. That's $5,000. So if you feel like I can help you get at least one client, which we've done for everybody who's joined my program, who's followed the steps, everybody who follows the steps gets a client, then this could be a good investment for you. Okay. So now you have two choices. I had two choices. Now you have two choices, because I know you're not just going to give up after being given the superpower. I think everybody here, if you're here and you've made it this far, you're like, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep moving. You've made this your week. You've decided that this is your path to change your life. So now you have two options on how to move forward. And the first option is you can just go through all the trial and error and try to figure everything out on your own. What I've given you this week is the foundation. You know how to do the categorizations and the reconciliations. You know how to, for the clients that you'll have to do that process for all your clients. But what if they have other needs? What if a client comes to you and it's like a $2,000 a month client and they need a little bit more? I don't want you to say no to that. So you could figure it out and go through all the trial and error and figure it out on your own, but you're going to have questions. Okay, you're going to have questions. Even with the simple clients, you are going to have questions as you do those categorizations and reconciliations. Questions like, what do I need to onboard a new client? What information do I need from a new client? What if I don't know how to categorize something? You get lots of options to choose from, or do I create a new account? How do I categorize something? What niche should I choose? Should I focus and only work on clients within a specific industry? Which niche should I focus on? Or should I even do that? How do I get reviews if I don't have clients? There is a legitimate way of getting all the reviews you need so that you can get ranked at the top of ProAdvisor. Because again, if you don't get ranked at the top of ProAdvisor or a couple of other marketing strategies that we cover, you're kind of invisible. What's the legitimate way of getting all those reviews if I don't have clients? Okay. What if I can't pass the QuickBooks certification exams? What if I get locked out? I don't want you to have to wait 60 days. 60 days? For some might not seem like a long time, but I mean, how old am I? You had 30 years onto my life, and 30 years from now, I'm going to look back and say, I wish I had 60. 60 days is a long time. I don't want you to delay getting clients and moving your business forward. What if my client asks a question that I don't know? What do I say? What do I give my client every single month? Okay, what kind of reports, what kind of analysis do I give my clients every month? What should be in my engagement letter? Don't guess. Don't leave yourself unprotected. Just use mine. Okay. How do I get paid by clients? Okay. How do I get paid? How do I clean up? How do I do a cleanup on a client's books? Okay. How do I do that complicated unwinding, untangling of a complete mess? Okay. We'll help you through it. How do I write my profiles and my marketing messages? Those messages that you want to be sending on LinkedIn, those value-based messages. How do we write those? What should they contain? We'll help you. What if a client asks for a resume? What do I say? That will happen. What if I have to talk to a client's CPA? First time I had to do this, I was shaking and quaking in my boots. And it is a little nerve-wracking experience, but we'll help you through that process. Exactly how much do I charge clients? How much do I for every single type of client that comes my way? What if a client's paying for personal stuff with business money out of their business account? That's a no-no. What do we do? How do we classify those things? And vice versa. How do I handle 1099s for clients? A lot of us have heard of 1099s. That's something that we're going to have to participate in. How do we handle 1099s for clients? How do you file them with the IRS? All that fun stuff. How do I raise a client's fee? Client has grown. How do I communicate that? How do I raise the price I'm charging them? What do I say? How do I fire a bad client? I just don't want to work this client anymore. They're becoming a real problem. What do I say? How do I move on? I don't know what I don't know. Okay, this happens. I mean, we know that there's all kinds of stuff that we don't know. So how do we be prepared for that? And then countless other predicaments that you'll find. Okay, and you can Google all this stuff. You can figure this stuff out on your own if you decide to do the trial and error way. Okay, but you Google, you get millions of results, you get conflicting information. What do I trust? What if a client is waiting on you to figure all this stuff out or has a deadline? What if what you got on Google or YouTube wasn't, it seemed like it was for your situation, but it wasn't for your specific situation? Something got screwed up. What if the client gets a little upset about that? Or what if they start throwing around the refund word? Okay, I don't want you to have to do that. Okay, and then just consider how much time it's going to take you to figure all this stuff out, like this stuff and just hundreds of other things. 6 months, a year, or more. Are you just going to give up because it can be frustrating trying to find all this stuff on your own? All of us have people that are counting on us to figure this stuff out. Okay, and consider that you would be making money the entire time that you're trying to figure this stuff out. Okay, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. Okay, but I want you to go into it eyes wide open. You're going to have questions. Okay, just be prepared to have a resource or have a solution, and be willing to spend the time it's going to take to figure all this stuff out. Okay, the second option you have is just simply work with someone who's helped thousands of others do the exact thing you want to do and get it done within the next month or two. Okay, there's an easy way of doing it and there's a hard way. I've just created the easiest way of doing it. I've wrote the book on it, and I've helped thousands of people doing it, and I can just help you do it really quickly too, so you don't have to struggle. Okay, don't take the hard way. Do what's right for you, but I'd encourage you to consider not taking the hard way. And also that time is your most valuable resource. You can always make more money, but you can't make any more time. Okay, so if it takes you a year to figure this stuff out when you can be earning money in the next couple of months, next month or two, it actually ends up being more expensive to go at it on your own. Okay, so factor all of those things in. Factor all those things in and make the decision that's right for you. I've created what is and has been for so many people the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way to get you to the business that you want. It will be easier, faster, and cheaper than anything else you'll find out there. Okay, when you consider that you can be making money this entire time. Okay, so again, my Booming Bookkeeping Mentorship Program, here's everything you get. You get the videos, you get all of the coaches, okay, including me. You get the weekly Zoom coaching calls, you get the unlimited email support, you get the private Facebook student community, you get guaranteed QuickBooks certification. Don't even worry about passing that exam. You get the pricing calculator, take out all that guesswork. You get the cleanup training. You get the consultation call outline, so you know exactly how to have that conversation. You get all the checklists and templates, including the engagement letter, and you get 1 full year of access for just one payment of $49.97 or 3 payments of $19.97. Okay. Again, I wanted to put this investment at a spot where it's accessible to as many people as possible while still representing the value that we give you. Okay. I've got a whole support team. You know, if I were to say, hey, I'll help you build a 6-figure bookkeeping business and it costs $100, I'd expect you to think I was full of it and that you probably wouldn't be getting exactly what you need to do that. Okay. So that's what you do. And again, to save your spot by Sunday at midnight, we're going to close Sunday at midnight enrollment. We will close it just like we closed VIP earlier in the week. We're going to close enrollment. So get your deposit in. Go to keyboardrich.com/yes. You'll put down your deposit of $9.97. Then you'll go to the DocuSign, and then you'll go to a page where you can make the balance of your payment. So again, if you're doing the one payment, that's $4,000. If you're doing the payment plan, you'd make the balance of that first payment, which is $1,000. Okay, and then the next payment would happen automatically. It'll automatically be charged 30 days from today, and then the final payment 30 days from then. Okay, but if you do one payment, it's one payment. You get access to everything. Okay, you get access to everything. Okay, so enrollment closes Sunday, so get your deposit in, save your spot. On Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we'll do our welcome party. You'll get to meet the team. You'll meet everybody. And you have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment, but you don't get login information. You don't get access to the mentorship program until you do. So I want you to get started right away, so make sure you make that payment as soon as possible. Okay? And you know me, I'm all about doing something special. The first 50 people who register, who put down your deposit, you get lifetime access to everything. So instead of a year's worth of access, I'll give lifetime access to the first 50 people, reward you for taking action. Okay, taking action and encouraging you to take the next best step. Okay, so you'll get lifetime access to everything, the videos and the support. Bother me for as long as you want. Okay, email support and the Zoom coaching calls and the checklists and the templates and the training, like everything that was listed, you get lifetime access to. Okay, so you never have to worry. We'll work together for as long as it takes. So now the real question is, are you going to continue the incredible progress you've made toward your ideal life this week, or are you going to hit the brakes and risk losing it all? Okay, make the decision that's right for you. But going at it on your own, I've seen it happen time and time again. Something comes up and it just never seems to happen. Okay, don't risk that. Consider whether or not my mentorship program is right for you. And if you feel like it is, if you feel like you want to have just a partner walk through this process with you and just answer all your questions, take out all the guesswork, get there quickly, like you run into some crazy QuickBooks situation that you don't know how to fix, and you just reach out and we just help you. We just help you get clients quickly. This is what you're going to want to do. Okay, you save your spot with a deposit, $9.97 by Sunday night at midnight. But again, the first 50 people who save their spot with a deposit, you'll get lifetime access to everything. Okay, lifetime access to everything. So keyboardrich.com/yes, and that's how we'll do it. Okay, so what did I want to mention? I'm going to open it up for questions here in a little bit. So if you have some questions about the mentorship program, I will go ahead and answer those. So if you want to hang around, we will do that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about the mentorship program, if you're VIP, feel free to email vip@boomingbookkeeping.com. And if you want to put that in the chat as well. If you're not VIP, you can still reach us, billvf@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay? Actually, you know what? Everybody just email vip@boomingbookkeeping.com with questions, okay? Angela will take care of you and answer your questions. So like we've had people ask if they can split it on 2 credit cards. Yes, we can do that. email vip@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay, email vip@boomingbookkeeping.com, and Angela can help you out, okay, with any questions about the mentorship program. But I'll be back to answer a few questions as well. And so what I'd like to do now is I'd like to, again, I talk about success leaving clues, okay? And I'd like to introduce you to somebody who has a really inspiring story, who walked through the same journey that you guys have walked through or are walking through, because, let's learn. Let's learn from success. Let's learn from somebody who's been through the process. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this down. And what I want to do is introduce you to Amber. Amber, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. How is everyone else doing?
Good. Thank you for being here and being willing to share your story.
You're welcome. I enjoy sharing my story. I've had the opportunity to share it a couple of times, and each time I do, I grow and I'm challenged. And I'm even challenged and held accountable to what I said last time. So I love doing it. It's a good refresher for me. And it's a good reminder when I'm sharing my story of how far I've come. And it helps catapult me to the next level.
Well, that's cool. I know it's helpful for people. We've got a lot of people that are moving through the challenge this week. They've made incredible progress learning bookkeeping, learning how to get clients, and now they've got options in terms of how best to move forward. And my mentorship program is one of those. But, regardless of the mentorship program, let's learn a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about you and what life looked like for you before you encountered the world of bookkeeping.
Absolutely. So I am a mother of 4 girls. They're all grown and raised by now. I'm a grandmother of 3. I live in the Texas Hill Country, out where it's quiet and you can see the stars at night. And I have donkeys, horses, goats, cats, and dogs. And my life is very rich, very full, and my work-life balance is amazing. So, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that in 2020. Not only was there a pandemic, and we were locked in our houses with a lot of emotional stuff going on, I went through a very unwanted, surprising divorce, and had just built my forever home. Thought I was going to be there forever, had a bunk room for all of my grandkids that were going to be coming very soon. Just life was good, and then it wasn't. And I had stayed home most of my child rearing days, so I didn't really have a career. I did have bookkeeping skills. I had done it before, but I was very rusty and never worked on QuickBooks Online. And I had nothing when I started. And I say nothing, I guess it's relative. I had a camper and I had a computer, and that's become a joke now because now I can laugh sort of. With a camper and a computer, all I needed was the internet, and I had a Mac. I know a lot of people say, what kind of computer should I have? It doesn't matter, just get it online. Yeah. But anyway, I started doing it because I had a few connections with bookkeepers I knew in Central Texas and asked them a few questions. And I know a lot of the listeners right now are saying, oh, well, she had some connections. That's why she was successful. No, it's really not. I had lots of objections, and maybe I knew a few people, but we all have something and we bring something to the table. But yes, I did have a few people I could call to ask a few questions. I got a few clients. They weren't necessarily ideal. And then I started getting referrals. That was the very beginning of 2021. What I can say is, although the pandemic was awful, it really opened the door to bookkeeping, which already is a recession-proof career. It's already a profitable business to open. And I hope people are listening to that, because there are people that are going to try all kinds of things that aren't guaranteed profitable. It's profitable because you make money and there's no overhead but a computer and internet. So, forgot what I was going to say about that. Anyway, yeah, I had a point. But anyway, by November of 2021, I was working over 40 hours. And I was working for a rate that I thought was the most I could charge. And there was no way I could make a living on $40,000 a year and support myself. I don't know if anybody can these days, but especially where I lived. And sure. I really wanted to protect my lifestyle. I loved my life. And I could have, admitted defeat, gone back to For me, defeat is going to a large city. So I could have gone back to a large city and started working at the bottom of some firm and spent 20 years and maybe had a little savings account, definitely not anything, retirement value. So I knew I had worked myself into a corner, and I signed up for your program in November of 2021. Didn't start actually going through it till January in one weekend, and I just decided I was going to dive in head first. And I got my certification in the same weekend that I went through that part of the course. And I've been telling you the wrong information. I've been telling you my success rate was ×2 my income. So I was at 40,000. I'd worked myself into a corner. And once I started working Bill's program, I doubled my income, not once, but twice. And I've been saying in 2 years, but really, I had like an $18,000 month and started having them consistently after that before I had even bought your program 2 years earlier. So I wasn't even working the program till January, but August of 2023 is when I was hitting what marked not just 2 times my income, but I actually was 3 times, because in 2023, I ended up hitting the 250,000 a year mark. So I've been telling you I doubled my income twice in 2 years. It actually was more than that. And it was a little less than 2 years. And I think some people, if I were the people listening today, I would think, oh, there's no way. I would have thought that. But there were 3 things I think that I can attribute my success to. One is me. I worked really hard. I didn't expect anybody to hand it to me. That was a hard adulting lesson. No one's coming to save me. And I had to look myself in the mirror and realize that and work really hard, too hard. After about 1.5 years of it, I'm like, Bill, I can't do this. I'm working too much. And you really challenged me to raise my rates to where I should have been billing them all along. And I was leery. And in fact, I didn't take your advice right away because I didn't think I could. I didn't lose any clients when I raised my rates. In fact, if anything, I think I attracted better clients because I believed that I was worth it.
Yeah.
So my lifestyle has changed dramatically. I'm not in the camper anymore. I'm renting home, but I am 1/3 of the way through my next goal, which is paying cash for a brand new home I want to build on my parents' property. So I keep setting new goals because I keep achieving them earlier than I thought I would. And I don't think anybody could have told me this was going to happen. Right before, while you were talking, when I first logged in, I pulled up my pro forma on another screen. And I had, if I worked for 10 clients at this rate, if I worked for 12 hours, if I hired, all these different scenarios. So I found one that I was comfortable with. And instead of making goals annually, I made them quarterly. And the last one I made was April 23rd because I just kept hitting them beforehand. And I thought, oh, just go with it. And, I last month when I had the opportunity to talk to the group that you were working with then, I said that my next goal this year is going to be to become the CEO of my business and not really do the day-to-day bookkeeping anymore, maybe review financials. And it's because I want to work a few hours in the morning and then spend it doing whatever I want, which I get to watch my grandkid two afternoons a month because I want to. I get to go visit the others anytime I want to. I get to travel. Sometimes it's a working trip. Sometimes it's not. I get to do what I want and almost how I want to do it. And I wouldn't change it for the world. But what I said was I want to become the CEO of my company. Well, all of a sudden, I get a reminder that I'm meeting and joining your call today. And I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything that I said I wanted. So if I'm going to hold myself accountable to taking the step, which is my number one tip, just do it. Just take the step. You could do all the training, all the certifications in the world, but the number one tip I tell people is just start. Just take the step. And yet I hadn't done anything in the last 30 days. So yesterday afternoon, I sent out a few emails, started brainstorming, didn't care if they thought, oh, business must be slow or she wouldn't be reaching out to us, because I wondered if maybe they would think that. And I thought, no, I said tax season is over. I'm growing. I'm open for more business. Here's the kind of clients I'm looking to work for, and sent out some emails to people I knew. And because I knew that I was going to face you today. And I wanted to say that I had did something towards reaching that goal and not just said it out loud. Saying it out loud is a great first step.
Yeah.
Writing it down.
Yeah.
But then actually doing something, which is what I did.
Yeah. And that's an interesting point because, again, like for the people that make the decision to do it on their own, hey, do what you think is right. But I just see the brakes being hit because there is no accountability. And that's the other piece of the puzzle here is that I can't drag you through this process, but knowing that you have invested in yourself and that you've got something on the line, and that you've got people here like, hey, if you don't believe in yourself, borrow some of my faith in you. And because we're going to get you to where you want to be and we're going to provide some of that accountability. So it's just such a fascinating story. So an unwanted divorce, which I'm sorry to hear that, but starting from a camper and a computer, you've taken that now all the way to, 250K in revenue.
Right. Right.
So what was it about? Because you talked about, you had to learn QuickBooks Online. You didn't know anything about QuickBooks Online. You didn't know anything about getting clients because you worked yourself into a corner. What was it that helped you experience that success? What was the difference for you?
I think the support group, knowing that I could come with any questions, and my questions became fewer as the months progressed, because what I learned with the answers that I got in the support group, I could apply to the next client. It was confidence, I think, knowing that I had someone backing me, that helped. And then the marketing piece of the program helped me a lot. I knew some basic bookkeeping, and a lot of people say, oh, but I don't know bookkeeping. Bookkeeping isn't that complicated. I know some people might say I oversimplify, but it really is revenue minus expenses equals profit. And there's a few other things about, balance sheet items, but that's the nuts and bolts of it, how it looks. And in the software, it was new to me, but it's user friendly. And if you know the big picture of what you're wanting to do, that's make sure your checking account's balanced and they're categorized in the right place, or the place that it looks best and is most correct. That's really all it was. And QuickBooks Online is so user-friendly. It didn't take me any time to ramp up. And then there were a few things I Googled, YouTubed, or I came to the support group to get it. So that made a big difference for me. The cleanup section, I would say, is probably the most valuable, but I had already struggled through a cleanup of my own before that module came out. So that's such a great addition to the program. But I think that alone is worth its weight in gold. And I also get this question, and I'm going to say this. There are people in the webinar, and it sounds like I'm bragging. I'm actually not. There's people in the webinar listening right now that are Googling and trying to find me. It happens. It happens. And they're messaging me. And I'm not complaining. But the questions that you're going to think about sending someone, they're already answered. You already know whether you should be in it or not. You're just, and I'm speaking from experience, if you're anything like me, you're looking for someone to say just the perfect thing to make you feel comfortable in making the leap. I don't tell anyone anything that I haven't told them in the webinar or that Bill hasn't covered in the training. A lot of us are just looking for someone to push us off that ledge or make us feel comfortable doing it. And I'm going to tell you right now that fear is not going to go away. It's going to stay there until you make the step. And then when you go on to make another step, there's going to be a little fear again at the next level. And I'm having to do it again. I'm having to do it scared. Like Bill says, you just still do it. You just do it scared. And that fear drops away. And then there's confidence right afterwards.
So yeah, we've talked a couple of times throughout the week that it's really up here, and there is a fear-based thing. There's an investment required. Obviously, I've got to pay a whole support team and staff, and we've created something that helps people do some pretty big things here. But there's the fear of the investment. There's a fear of learning QuickBooks, getting clients. How did you deal with learning QuickBooks and getting clients? And if how long did it take you to learn QuickBooks? Did you, when you had questions about whether it's about learning QuickBooks or working with clients, what did you do? I mean, you were part of the mentorship program. What did you take advantage of?
Yeah, the Facebook group. I didn't even really email support much because the team on your staff didn't necessarily have to be the one to answer me, just somebody with some experience. And just the members in the group answered my questions. So that's where I would go. As far as getting clients, I would do things that you recommended, or if I were out and about and I was visiting an establishment, there's a vintage motorcycle museum in our little town square. And this guy was new and I'm thinking, how is he going to make it? You know, and so I asked because I was genuinely interested. I said, how's business? How are you project? Are you even going to break even in the first few years? I was just interested. And he looked at me like, what do you do for a living? And I got a client, but it was because I showed genuine interest in other business owners' success. And I did care. And I was nosy that too, but I asked. And then referrals really became a big thing for me. One of my biggest, most profitable clients was nationally known. I'm not going to say the name of him, but everyone would know who it was if I said it. He was going through bankruptcy. He had to go through bankruptcy court and had to have an independent bookkeeper. The CPA that I was on a call with, and for those of you that are scared to get on a call with a CPA, I was on a call and there was this awkward silence waiting for our customer because he was running late. So I asked the CPA, how's business? And I said, are you accepting new clients? Because I sometimes get people asking, who can I, or can you do my taxes, or can you refer me? And I said, so are you taking on new business? And he said, yeah. He goes, what kind of clients you work with? And we made small talk until my client actually got there. Thankfully, he was late. I ended up getting the most profitable client because I could charge a lot because of the requirements for bankruptcy. In fact, it was a $5,000 a month client, and I spent maybe 10 hours a week during the duration. And I was so disappointed when the bankruptcy ended because it was really, really profitable.
Yeah. Wow.
But anyway, I would say referrals and not being scared to show up on calls or to ask questions. It's not like cold calling. It really is start, and then the momentum takes off on its own. I think just getting started is everybody's biggest hurdle. How long did it take? I know that I got a client within the first month, if not 2 weeks, of optimizing my Google My Business profile and my Pro Advisor profile. The first one that I got was Google My Business, and the cleanup was $7,000 because it was multiple years. And I was so scared to send that quote. And I'm like, no, this is a lot of work. I'm going to do it. And that was my first client, and it happened right away. And I know you didn't ask this question, but I didn't have the money. I didn't know how I was going to pay for it, but I had
money for my mentorship program.
Right. I didn't have the money whenever I first started out. And I thought, how am I going to do this? I knew that I could work. I didn't have a lot of expenses, thankfully. So some of the money that I was already making, I could devote it to that. But it really wasn't where I needed to be spending my money. But I got my first client paid for the program more than that. And so even if I had just gotten just a monthly client, it would have paid for the program within 1 year. So anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and that's why I keep telling people like, hey, like you're going to get that client, sometimes it happens to people during the challenge or the next week, or like it'll happen sooner than you think. And you'll get this big client dropped in your lap, $2,000 a month. Well, guess what? If you don't, that $2,000 a month client's going to have some complexity to it. We'll help you do the work. Sign the client. Don't turn away that money. Sign the client, jump into the mentorship program, and we'll help you do the work. So, I'd love to open it up for a couple of questions if you're open to doing that. Anna, if you want to open up the chat, if you guys have questions for Amber, I know you all probably do. We'll take a few questions, and let me actually kind of like pull this up on the screen. I gotta mute. Okay, let's see. Where's all my buttons? Let's see here. So yeah, Anna, if you want to go ahead and enable, turn on the chat, that would be helpful. All right, cool. Let's see here.
While you're doing that, I'm going to finish the thought that I got distracted with earlier. 3 things that I attribute my success to. I really worked my butt off. I worked really, really hard. Second, investing in the mentorship, in this case, Bill's program. And third, I am a person of faith, and I believe in mindset also. And it was at least 1/3 of the picture of my success. I don't take all the credit, and I don't give it all to Bill either. It's hard work, and it's believing that you can do it.
Awesome. I appreciate you saying that. I am happy to be a small part of your success because of what you've done. So if you have a question for Amber, go ahead and type it in the chat and we'll ask a few. Looks like, okay, so how many clients do you have and where are they located?
I have 12 clients and none of them are local. They're all virtual. I would say 85% are in the state of Texas, but really doesn't matter because I never see them. But they're all within my region, Phoenix, Arizona, California, Arkansas. And only one of them is really large. I spend probably 10 to 15 hours a week with them. The rest I do not do. My assistant does it. I have a almost full-time assistant that does all of the bookkeeping for the others, but those are small to medium-sized clients.
Perfect. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So, were you already certified before you got your first client?
No, and I'm pretty sure I'm not certified now because I haven't kept up with it.
So remember, being certified doesn't mean you're a great bookkeeper. You can be a great bookkeeper without getting certified, but getting certified, helps you market yourself. Okay. It helps you market yourself. Okay. Cool. So, timeline again, like in terms of like starting the program, how long did it take you to get comfortable? How long did it take you to get comfortable like with QuickBooks?
Enough to do a basic client within a couple of weeks because you learn how to reconcile and then you run your financials and you realize, I didn't do this right. And you course correct. And then the next time you almost can run it automatically because you can automate. So a couple of weeks or a month, but my first client I got in under a month. Once I got on Bill's program, under a month, and I got extremely comfortable with bookkeeping and QuickBooks Online because it was a cleanup and a catch up, and it forced me to do some things repetitively until it was like, I could do them in my sleep now. And it was because of that very first client and because they were a cleanup. Got it.
Okay, very cool. So you can learn relatively quickly. Your first client you said was in 2 weeks or a month. So absolutely. Here's a good question. So what is, let me see if I can kind of rephrase it because it's a little jumbled here, it looks like. But it talks about what was your biggest challenge? Like, what was your biggest challenge in getting your business going?
It's not going to be what everybody else's, but mine was internet. I lived really far out. So something that would take someone 30 minutes took me 3 times longer. It was extremely slow, and the little scrolling thing would be there after every transaction. I cried through some of that because I just was sitting there staring at a screen. Or if I jumped on a Zoom with someone, a new potential client, they're like, I can't hear you. Your internet's unstable. And my confidence was really rocked by that. I had to fight through that. But I would say, some of my other obstacles were more about needy clients. So I have a certain personality that isn't extremely patient. And I like to meet with somebody one time. And if they have questions, fine. But if they need me to, for example, if I send them a list of questions, things I don't know what they are, then I need a little guidance. And they're not the time, maybe they're much older and set in their ways, just as much as I'm setting mine. And they won't fill in the little right-hand column in the memo and just tell me what it is. They want to get on the call and go through them line by line. I have a hard time saying no, and I have a hard time getting rid of them. So my obstacles are good problems to have because I know some people that'll be like, give the client to me. In fact, I'll tell you, I'm meeting with someone right after this call. We're going to a winery. She's a controller of a winery. And after she gets off of work, we're meeting because she does bookkeeping on the side, and she's taking my needy client. I don't make much on him. He's not real profitable, and I don't enjoy walking people through those kinds of things. They're not challenging to me. So she's going to take them, and we're going to meet about partnering up because she does taxes. So I'm like, hey, it
That's
just
cool.
turned out to be a benefit. Yeah.
So this is what happens when you get your marketing dialed in. Like, you pick and choose who you work with.
Exactly.
That is awesome. That is really awesome. So, have we talked about how many hours you work?
I'm working 25 now.
25 but 25 a week, and you're making $250K. That's awesome. And you've got an assistant that works how much?
About 20 hours. I think I figured this out last call. Somewhere around $30,000 a year is what I'm paying her.
Okay.
20 times 20, 40. Probably 40,000 a year. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, if I didn't see your question, a lot of questions were being thrown out there, and a lot of duplicate questions. What is, and for those of you who have questions about the mentorship program, I'll answer those after we're done with Amber. But we've heard your story. It's very inspiring considering where you've come from. How do you feel about what you've been able to accomplish, considering the journey?
I feel like I can do anything that is put in front of me that I want to do. If there is certain calling that I have that I really wish I could do blank, I have the means to maybe do it at some point in time. It's not unreachable for me. So I feel hopeful. I feel able to dream, because when you, and there was a time where I didn't feel that. But you start accomplishing a few goals, and all of a sudden your dreams get much bigger. I think paying cash for a house is huge for a single woman who did not have a career most of her life. I feel empowered. I feel like I am a really great example to my 4 daughters who get to make some choices on their own while they're raising families. Do they want to continue with a career? Do they want something on the side? Do they want to work or not work? And just the sky is the limit. I feel like my beliefs and my integrity match what my lifestyle looks like now. And before, they were so mixed matched. It's like I really believed in mindset. I really believed in the law of attraction. I really believed in prayer. I really believed in hard work. Now I preach it. Now I live it. Now I am it. I don't just, it's not just in my head and in my wishful thinking. And I will say it's because I took the first step. It's not because I'm special. I used to think that my story is really unique. I had victim mentality. Oh, poor me. How horrible, of what happened to me was. And there was a villain and there was a victim, and it got me nowhere quick. And I have learned that there's a much better way to do it. And if you're looking for an excuse to not do it, you'll find that. You really will. Listeners now, I'm sure there's a lot of fears. There's probably very few people in my life that I've met that couldn't do this business. It's not that it's easy, it's just simple. And it's pretty much guaranteed. When you get your first client isn't necessarily guaranteed, but the profitability, it being in demand, there are still people looking for good bookkeepers, especially after someone screwed up their books. Then they're willing to pay for a better bookkeeper.
So you've talked a little bit about the like the Facebook group and the support we provide there. What other specific parts of the mentorship program did you find particularly useful and helpful on your journey?
It was mostly the marketing for me, because I knew a little bit of bookkeeping, the marketing, and probably the bonuses. But like I said, I had figured out the cleanup before you added that module. I would say that one, if I had not already and I was new to the group, that would probably be my favorite, the one that I would have leaned on the most. Okay. Very cool. And you said something earlier that I'm just seeing in the chat, people are kind of responding to, but you said, nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's coming to save me. And boy, that kind of like struck me. I've got a wife who's a very supportive wife as well, but she kind of pushes me when I need that push. But I still have to take, ownership, and I have to take initiative. And some people don't have a support system around them. And, and that kind of struck me, that not everybody's in that situation when you said that. And that's part of what the mentorship program is. Like,
I'll help. I might not say, I mean, I'll help. I mean, we're here to help. We're here to support people. It's been incredibly fulfilling to see people jump into the program and then connect. Like, we've got people that are in the program that are like our best friends now, and they get together, and like, so we really support each other. And I didn't really envision that when I started things. I was like, well, here's a bunch of videos, go learn bookkeeping and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, here's a Facebook group, and people can kind of talk about things. And it's become, you said it, and a lot of people have said, it's become one of the most impactful parts of the program to feel like you have that support system, that you're not alone and not doing this. So I'm glad you brought that up. What do you? I'm just kind of checking to see if there's any other comments that I'm missing here. So we talked about how many hours you put in for the week. I won't keep you too long, but what I would like to ask you before I let you go is, we've got a lot of people on. A lot of people have, they've learned some bookkeeping this week. They're in. Bookkeeping is their thing, but there's an investment involved in joining a mentorship program. What would you say to somebody as they, sort of kind of consider and weigh in their mind how best to move forward considering that?
You get what you pay for. If you understand the principle of return on investment, there should be no concern, but I understand it because I had it too. Where there's a will, there's a way. I sold stuff too. I got on Craigslist and probably Facebook Marketplace. I got rid of stuff. Had I had a lot of expenses, I would have found money there. I found a way. I didn't have a credit card. I'm sure most of your listeners here have credit cards. I didn't have a way that most people have, and I found a way. There's no hesitation in me in investing because I've seen the proof in the pudding. Using me for an example, I know some people say, well, you can afford to do it now. You will always find a reason not to invest in yourself to take it to the next level, but I'm also investing in myself again. I'm buying a program, and I forget the name of it, but it's about financial freedom and how to retire with money in the bank that fuels your calling, your goals, your trips. And because I started over so late in life, I want a 10-year plan of how to have money in the bank whenever I want to quit working completely and have it fund my lifestyle. Yeah. So I'm about to invest in again because I want to take it to the next level and learn things that I probably could Google, but I will get better advice. I'll have accountability. I'll have a support group. Same thing here. I don't know that I could have done what I did ever had I not invested in your program. Even if I could have done it on my own without a support in the Facebook group, I mean, maybe 10 years. I mean, I grew exponentially because of my support system. So I think if you're impatient like me and you need that support, not just relying on Google and YouTube videos, there's some good ones and there's some horrible ones that'll teach you the wrong way to do it. You want to invest. You want to get there, not just quicker if you're like me and impatient, but you want to get there better, not just quicker. Then if you value those things, then the program is worth its weight in gold, and you keep adding more and more things. You do a lot more than what you did whenever I joined. You have a bigger team than whenever I first joined. It's continually improving. And the Facebook group is truly like a family. We celebrate each other's successes, and we help walk through any of the challenges and the fears. If you just need a pick-me-up, you can even go to the Facebook group and say, hey, I'm struggling today. And you've got people rallying for you. So it's worth it. And anything that's worth it is going to cost a little something. If it didn't, it wouldn't be worth it.
That is very true. That is very true. We don't promise helping people build these incredible bookkeeping businesses and then just give you a bunch of fluff. Like we get you there, and the proof is in the pudding. And you're one of those people, and you're just like, your story's so inspiring. And I just love talking to you and hearing about it. And I know that everybody in the chat is enjoying hearing from you and your story. So I really appreciate you taking time to come on here and talk to us today.
You're welcome. And I'm excited. I know that I'll see some of the people in this call today in the Facebook group next week or the week after. And I love seeing all of the newbie questions because it's so easy for people like me to just send little quick answers like, oh, just do this. Oh, just do that. But I remember being those people. So I always know when there's been a webinar because you see the newbies coming in, and don't be afraid to ask questions because we have all been there.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you so much, Amber. Appreciate your time. And we'll talk to you real soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye now. Awesome. Very cool. I hope you guys really enjoyed that, hearing from Amber, hearing her story. Camper and a computer. Just follow the steps. Okay. Just follow the steps. We've broken it down as easy as it can possibly be broken down. Okay. We give you everything you need to be successful. Okay. If you feel like my mentorship program is right for you and my help will take you from where you are now, and in a month or two, have you start like generating real income with a real skill, getting all the clients you need, I encourage you to save your spot. Okay. You've, keyboardrich.com/yes. Anna, if you want to put that in the chat one more time, you go there with the HTTPS on it so people can click on it. You go there, you put down your deposit, $9.97. Do that by the end, by Sunday night at midnight, because we're closing. Okay, we're closing enrollment to the program. And then, so you put down your deposit, you go to the DocuSign, and then you go to make the balance of your payment. Now, you have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment, but you don't get your login information until you do. Okay, so you're going to want to make that right away. And again, if you do the one payment, that balance is just $4,000. If you do the payment plan, the balance of that first payment is just $1,000, and you'll get your login information. Okay. If you're on the payment plan, you don't have to do all 3 payments to get your login information, but understand that it is a little bit more expensive because it is a payment plan. Okay. So if you're one of the first 50 people to get to sign up, to put your deposit down, you will get lifetime access to everything. Okay, so if you're on that page right now, keyboardrich.com/yes, and you're able to, that submit button is still active, you are good. You're in for life. Okay, you've got lifetime access. Okay, so that's cool. And we'll just get started. Okay, we'll just get started. If you've got questions, feel free to type them into the chat here, and I'll answer those while I'm here. Okay, I'll answer those while I'm here. And I see a bunch of people jumping in. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys. Somebody's asking, how do you pay using 2 different credit cards? If you have a question like that, send it to vip@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay, and Angela will help you separate those. Okay. There's another question about I've applied for a 0% credit card, but it won't get here for a couple of days. How do I proceed? So yeah, some people have done that. There are some credit cards out there, like I think Chase has a really good one where it's like 0% interest for 15 months. You join the mentorship program and then you pay, like you start getting clients and you just pay it off and you don't pay any interest. I'm not advocating that, but I know some people do that. So if you're doing that and you're waiting for a card, get your deposit in and contact Angela, vip@boomingbookkeeping.com. So yeah, we've had people do that, and that's what you'll want to do. Again, do what's right for you. Let's see. So in terms of like if there are 50 people, if we've hit 50 people already, not yet. Okay, not yet. If you see that page up and it's active, you're in good shape. Okay, you're in good shape. Okay, and yeah, the payment options. Those are just 2 payment options there. Okay, you can split it out, 3 payments, but it ends up being about $1,000 more expensive if you do that. Okay, so if you just do 1 payment, $49.97, you're done, and you're in for life. Okay, if you are in and you got your confirmation email and your receipt, you are one of the first 50, so don't worry about that. Okay, you are in. Okay, let's see here. Oh, welcome. We've got a lot of people signing up. Welcome, Nasimo. Let's see. So LinkedIn, we talked about that earlier today. Questions now are for the mentorship program. If you have questions about the mentorship program, feel free to drop them in the chat. Otherwise, you can reach out if you have questions, like you want to split things on 2 credit cards, you're waiting for your 0% interest credit card or whatever it is, VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Angela or Anna, if you want to drop that into the chat, that would be helpful. And we'll get that taken care of. Other questions that we have. Multiple coaching calls. We got multiple coaching calls. And yes, we do update the course all the time. So when there are new marketing strategies out there, or updated marketing strategies, we update things. When QuickBooks gets updated, we update QuickBooks. Okay. We make sure everything gets updated. Okay. And that's the email address. If your email is bouncing back, you might have spelled it improperly. Okay. VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. That's how it works. Let's see here. Anna signed up. Welcome. Good to see you here. Natalie, you're asking what expires after a year? Everything. So you lose access to everything unless you're one of the people who joins right now. Okay. So if you join right now, you'll get lifetime access to everything. Okay. You'll get lifetime access to everything. All right. Let's see. Can I join the mentorship program and start the business in a few months? Yes. In fact, I would encourage you, if you want the lifetime access, jump in, put down your deposit now, and you start. You'll have lifetime access. You start, and go as take it at your own pace. Okay, and the $997 is the deposit, and then you go to the DocuSign, and then you make the balance of your payment. So that's not in addition to what you're seeing on your screen. Okay, so the total that you'll ever pay is $49.97, or if you do the 3 payment plan, it's like, I don't know, close to $6,000. So it's about $1,000 more. Okay, Eugene signed up and paid in full. Welcome. Let's get started. Let's get certified. Let's get certified. Okay, you didn't come here for that. Remember, you have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment. Okay, next Friday, but you don't get your login information until you do. So make sure you do that. Angela, you did that. Welcome. Welcome. So the person asking about the LinkedIn question, we handle questions during VIP. Okay. During the challenge, we don't answer questions because I'm teaching. That's what VIP was for. Okay. I do not know when the mentorship program will be open again. I've got nothing planned. We've got to make sure that we're able to ensure that everybody who joins has everything they need. And so depending on how many people join, we make sure that they have what they need. We can't just keep it open. We don't know when we're going to open it next. Okay. So, do what's right for you. Do what's right for you. Definitely don't give up. Regardless, don't give up. I see it happen all the time, but that's it's part of the reason why, being in a group can help with the accountability and helping you get to where you want to be. Okay. So no, you have until Sunday night at midnight Pacific time to put down your deposit of $997. Okay. But again, you'll want to do that as soon as possible so that you can, you get your login information for the program. Okay. Oh, hold on. You want to do that as soon as possible so that you get lifetime access. That'll save your lifetime access. So you have until Sunday night, but do it ASAP so you can get lifetime access so you can be one of the first 50. Okay. Then you have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment. Okay. Sophia signed up. Welcome. Oh, Alma, you said if bilingual Spanish coaches available. So we've got one coach that speaks Spanish, and I don't know how fluent he is, but he did just move back from Mexico. But I don't know how fluent he is, but we've got a bunch of other people in the program that speak Spanish as well. Okay. They're not coaches per se, but they are people who, can assist you as well. Okay. Michael, you're asking, how do the 3 personal coaches communicate with you? Email, phone, call, Zoom. So Zoom, we have the Zoom coaching calls, email, and in the private Facebook group. Okay, that's how it works. Somebody's saying, I just paid $997. If I choose 3 payments, when is my next payment due? And what is the amount for each of the 3 payments? Well, it's on your screen there. So it's $1997. All 3 payments are $1997. If you do the $997, if you do the 3 payment plan, you're paying $997 for the deposit, and then you're paying $1,000 for the balance of that payment. At that point, you will get your login information. And then in 30 days, we automatically charge the next 1997, and 30 days later we automatically charge the last 1997. Okay, so keep in mind though, that's it ends up being more expensive. The deposit, for those of you asking, the deposit is non-refundable. So make sure that this is your thing. That take the time and talk to whoever you need to talk to make sure that this is right for you. But only move forward if you're ready to go. Like G. Dorsey and Patrick. And Patrick, welcome. Good to see you. Dennis, if you make a deposit of $997, the balance is $4,000, not $3,000. Okay, Tanya's in. Welcome. Miss Joy Fit is welcome. Kimberly, I've signed up. I'm betting on me at this point. Well, we will do this together. That's how it works. Okay. Jamal, paid in full, and you've already logged in. Let's do it. Medicare and you, it says how long to get password. So the password should come almost immediately. If you have any questions about that, or you don't see it when you make the balance, you got to make the balance of your payment in order to get the login information. If you only make the $997, you don't get your login information yet. You need to make the balance. Email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. And yes, G. Dorsey, the deposit qualifies you for the lifetime access, even if you can't make the full payment until like next week because you have to move things around. But remember that you don't get your login information until you do. Okay? Lindsay Harbor, I don't know. That's something that you'll want to think about. Okay, reach out to VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Angela might be able to help answer some questions that you might have. Okay. Let's see. Diane, am I in? I've not received the login email. Welcome. But remember, you don't get the login information until you've made the balance of your payment. So when you make the $997, you're like, you've saved your spot, you've got the lifetime access, but you don't get your login information until you make the balance. And again, if you've made the balance of that payment, so you've paid, then reach out to VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay? Let's see. Dennis, you're saying if I make a deposit of $987, I'll have a balance of $3,000. That can be 3 payments following. No, the only payment plan is what you see on your screen. Okay. So Diane, if you made the deposit in the $1,000 for the first payment of the payment plan, then yes, you should be getting your login information. Okay. If you don't see it, just email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay. Stephen and Maddie, how do you know if you're one of the lucky 50? You are in. If you're in, you're one of the 50. Okay. You're one of the 50. Okay. If that page is still active, if you're able to still sign up and hit the submit button on the deposit page, you are in good shape. You're in. Welcome. And we will get to work. H. Bueno is in. Welcome. Econom, the balance isn't automatically drafted. You got to make the balance payment like yourself. We don't charge automatically. The only things we charge automatically are the second and third payments on the payment plan. Okay. All right. Dan Dempsey's in. Welcome. Cecilia, yes, you'll get a recording of this. And the deadline is Sunday at midnight to enroll. Okay. Ismail, if I paid the $1997 today and opted for 3 payments, but decide by next week to pay in full, do I pay the remaining $3,000 or am I locked in? Yeah, unfortunately, like if you decide to do the payment plan, then you're on the payment plan. Okay, and there's no like kind of prepayment discount. Cheryl, if you paid the deposit and paid the balance, you're in. Kim, keep pushing, Kim. Melody's in. Welcome. And Cecilia, the first 50 people, if you're one of the first 50 people, that puts down your deposit. You don't have to make the balance of the payment yet, but you don't get your login information until you do. Then you get lifetime access to everything, support me and my black t-shirts. How many do I have? Drop your guesses into the chat. Okay, drop your guesses into the chat. How many black shirts does Bill have? But you get lifetime access to everything. Okay. And no, we're not only taking 50 people. We'll take more than that, but keep in mind the first 50 get the lifetime access. And Cheryl, you're saying you're confused. You said we're in with just the deposit. Well, you've saved your spot. You're in, but you don't get login information. You're not officially in until, you make the balance of the payment. You've got to make the balance of the payment. Okay. So that's how that works. Carol, you're saying, can you answer me on whether or not I can join later? I don't know when this program is going to be open later. We've got to get the people that we currently have in the program or that are joining the program, the results that they want first. So if you feel like the time is right for you, and even if the time is not right for you, when is the time ever going to be right? Life always happens. So that's as much as I can say. Okay. The mentorship program, G Dorsey, begins right away. As soon as you get your login information, you move at your own speed. It's self-paced, but then you've got the support and the help and the coaching calls as you go. Jasmine, welcome. And Gustavo's in. Oh, good to see you, Gustavo. I remember you from VIP. Let's see. Wani, if you're having questions about paying the balance, VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Connect with Angela, VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com, and she can get you help paying the balance. In fact, if you have any problems with the DocuSign after you pay the deposit, or you have questions about after the DocuSign paying the balance, just email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay, here's some guesses about the t-shirts: 100, 50, 7, 12, all of them. 21, a lifetime supply, one for every day of the week. So 7 is a good guess. 150, 24, that's a lot. What's the highest number? It's 150 so far. Charlie has saved your spot. Welcome. I'm the Steve Jobs of bookkeeping. He does keep it simple, or he did. Kim says 10. The answer, who's closest? Whoever said 7. Okay, that's your closest without going over. All right, good job. Well, I wish I had something for you, but I don't. I got day 5 for you tomorrow. Cheryl, you're saying I'm wanting the free lifetime access. Do I need to make payment in full for that? No. If you've got your deposit in, you're saved for lifetime access, and you can make the balance just anytime before the end of next week, by next Friday. Okay. So very cool. Queen Clark made the deposit, just waiting on how to split the remaining difference on 2 cards. So email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay. Econem just did your deposit. Welcome. Mark Bell, you're in. Welcome. Let's see here. Lots of guesses for the black t-shirt. Nicole's in. Welcome, Nicole. Good to see you. Renata, you pay it all and you open the site. How do I know I have membership for life? If you've got access to the program, you are in, and you have lifetime access. You are in. Okay. Jamal, you'll take the laptop for a prize. We're going to give that away tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow. Okay. Forget the prizes. Come for the training. Okay. MJ says, save me a 100K trophy. These things are heavy too. Okay. And they cost like $300 a piece, but we give them out to recognize your success and to celebrate your success. What you do in this mentorship program is huge. And I want to reward you for that. So I would love nothing more than to get you a trophy with your name on it. Okay. Solomon, you're saying I'm currently here in Germany on assignment. Do you think I can still make the bookkeeping business work? Yes, we have plenty of people overseas that are working with United States-based clients. There's some steps that you need to take to make sure that you can do that and use QuickBooks, effectively, and still be able to work with clients so you don't get locked out. Okay, so we talk about that in my mentorship program. But yes, Lean Tran is ready. Welcome. Landry's in. Nicole's in. Amy's in. Welcome. Is there any, Taylor, you're asking, is there any way to get full lifetime access if I'm not one of the first 50? Not at this time. So if you feel like it's right for you, now might be a good time. All right. I'm caught up. I'm caught up on questions about the mentorship program. Any last minute questions, throw them in here, but you guys know the deal. Okay. I've genuinely just created the fastest, easiest, and cheapest way of getting your bookkeeping business up. Okay. Because instead of taking a bunch of time trying to figure it out on your own, you could be making money the entire time. So even with paying for the investment in the mentorship program, you're making money sooner. So you end up further ahead. Okay. And this is everything you get on your screen. Okay. You get all of this stuff. And if you're one of the first 50 people that enroll, so if you're able to go to keyboardrich.com/yes and put down your deposit, if that submit button on that page is still active, you will get lifetime access. Okay, to everything. Okay, everything. And that's how it works. You put down your deposit. Do it by Sunday night at midnight because we're closing. Sunday night at midnight, it will not be open. Do not email us next week. It will not be open. Okay, so you get your deposit. But if you want to get lifetime access, get that deposited in right away. You put that in, then you go to a DocuSign, and then you make the balance of your payment. You have until next Friday to make the balance of your payment. But you don't get your login information until you do. And on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, we're all going to go into, we'll have a welcome party at 10 a.m. Pacific. You don't have to be there. We'll record it and send it out for you. But it's just an opportunity for you to get to know all your coaches. Okay, you'll see the A-team. You'll see me and Carrie and Tim and Tom and just everybody. Okay, and we'll just, well, for those of you who have made the balance of your payment, you will already be moving. Some of you may be certified tomorrow. Okay. I'd love to hear about that. Okay. I'd love to hear about that. So that's how it works. That's how it works. I'm ready. Lean says, I'm ready to become a millionaire. Well, the sky is the limit. I mean, what we've got, Amber is doing 250K. Now, not everybody needs to go to 250K. Not everybody needs to go to 100 grand. Okay. Don't feel like that has to be your goal. But I don't know if you were paying attention, but Melinda, her name is Melinda, and she was in the video I showed at the beginning of the session today. How many of you heard that she had a 7th grade education? She was taken out of school in the 7th grade, and she's making, I think it was like $320,000 or $350,000 in her business, showing her kids that anything is possible. Did you guys pick up on that? I didn't know that until I had that conversation with her, that she had a 7th grade education and she was doing this. I almost fell out of my chair. How cool is that? I just think that is so awesome. So yeah, you can do what you want to do. Okay. Lance, if you haven't gotten your login information, just email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Again, you only get that when you pay in full, but you said you've paid in full. So Dion, welcome. LJ. Okay. Sounds good. QC Dowdy. We do it all for you. You get it all. So welcome. Cheryl, I do not need any of the prizes since I'm fully set up. I'm here to take control of my life. That is the real prize. Okay. That is the real prize. I'm ready to be a bookkeeper. I love it, Maddie. There's something wrong with my website, Marty. Can't put in your credit card. I see that there are people coming in and people are having success doing it. So if you have problems, reach out to VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Anna, if you want to drop that in again, just so people have it. Let's see here. Solomon, I think you're in VIP. If you're in VIP, you can ask that LinkedIn question on VIP tomorrow. Yeah. Albert is in. Welcome. Is it tax deductible? That's a really great question. And the answer is yes. So it doesn't even cost $49.97. It costs a fraction of that, considering, depending on what your tax rate is. Absolutely. Cecilia, yeah, if you pay the $9.97 now, you'll get lifetime access, but you got to make the balance of your payment as well. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. All right. So Kimberly, you said you did you got the DocuSign, but you don't get your login information until you pay the balance. So make sure that you do that. Okay. You won't get your login information if you only pay the deposit. Okay. You got to pay the deposit and you got to pay the balance. Okay. All right. Okay, Lance, you already sent an email. Once you're in the mentorship program, Nicole, to get access to the Facebook group and to register for the weekly coaching calls, that's under the first video in Module 1. Okay, that's where you go to that inside of the mentorship program. So, Cecilia, okay, so just pay the deposit, and then if you get lost, to try to make the balance of the payment, email VIP@boomingbookkeeping.com. Okay. Hannah, you're saying the system is charging the full $49.97, or the installment is the $9.97 reservation option not available? Well, keep in mind that, Hannah, the cost of the program is $49.97. But if you go to keyboardrich.com/yes, that's where you'll pay the $9.97. You'll go to a DocuSign where you select which payment option you're doing, the pay in full or the payment plan. And then the next page, you'll have the opportunity to pay the balance. Okay, that's how it works. All right. Let's see here. So the VIP tomorrow is right after the challenge again. Yes. So tomorrow, today we had the VIP session before the challenge. Tomorrow it's back at its regular time. Okay. Anthony Anderson, welcome. You're in. Welcome. And VK, love it. Welcome. Rachel, we don't know when this program might be available again or when it will, but if it does, I'm guessing you'll probably hear about it some way, but we really only do it on challenges. So if you don't find out about the challenge, you might not know about it. I wish I could be more specific, but I just don't know. Ina, if I pay the balance by Saturday, will I still have access to the Monday meeting? Yes. Everybody who puts down a deposit can come to the meeting on Monday, the welcome party. Okay, but remember, the welcome party is just to meet the team. We won't be doing questions or anything like that. Questions if you have them about the mentorship program, but we won't be answering like questions about bookkeeping and QuickBooks. That's for the coaching calls. Okay, so keep that in mind. But until you pay the balance, you don't get your login. But if you do the balance by Saturday, you'll get your login information. You'll be well on your way by Monday. Okay? And yes, Carla, lifetime access is still available as long as that page is still active. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing is if you were a VIP during the challenge, you should still be getting login information. But if you don't, it's possible. For the mentorship program, it's the same platform that you have for your VIP replays. Okay, so if you're VIP and you didn't get your login information back to you when you enrolled and paid your balance, if you log back into your account that we created for you when you upgraded to VIP during the challenge, you'll now see the course listed there. You'll see the mentorship program listed there. Okay, that's how it works. All right, VK, you are part of the 50. Welcome. Let's see. Angela, have yet to receive a link, have emailed VIP again. So Angela, we'll get back to everybody. Trust that we'll be on it. Okay. Let's see. Tomorrow's VIP will be recorded. Absolutely. And Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. Dennis, can I make arrangements to pay the balance after I make a deposit? Yes, but keep in mind, Dennis, we only have these two options here. Okay. So it's after you pay the deposit, it's $4,000. If you're paying in full, or it's $1,000 for the balance of that first payment if you're doing the payment plan. Okay. Katie Joe, you're saying when I'm signing up, it's asking for my full name. Do I need to give my legal name there? No, you're okay. On the DocuSign, that's where you'd want to put in your name, your legal name. Okay. David, seriously thinking how I can get the money to do this? Do what's right for you. We've had people do some pretty extreme things. We've had people, tap into their 401ks or 0% credit cards or, loans or just different things like that. And we don't advocate for any of that stuff. Keep in mind that, I want everybody to do what's right for them. Okay. Do what's right for you and your financial situation. Keep also in mind that there's such thing as a good debt and bad debt. Some people think debt in any form is bad. And well, you're in business now, or you should be in business. Okay. And if you look at any business, if you look at their balance sheet, all those companies that we know of, they've got debt on their balance sheet. Okay. But that debt should be working for you. So if you do a loan or a credit card or, whatever it takes, a loan from your 401k, just make sure you do the work. There is no reason why my mentorship program would work for some people and it wouldn't work for other people. That would not be possible. A program can't both work and not work. So what does it come down to? It comes down to you. So if you're taking those steps, if you're saying look, I'm in, this is me, I'm doing this, and then you're going to take out a loan or you're going, credit cards or 401k or home equity line of credit or anything like that, just make sure we're going to meet you halfway, but make sure you go halfway and we'll do it together. And let's just make it happen. Okay. Be serious about it. Because I don't, make sure it's right for you before you take that step. Okay. But you can have the success that you want as long as you just show up and do the work. Okay. Just show up and do the work. Okay. All right. Dion just got your login information. Love it. And Daniel's in. Welcome. Let's see here. Frida's in. Welcome. David, you're asking, can you explain the first 50 deal, or do we get lifetime access by paying your deposit today? Yeah, if you pay your deposit today, you'll get lifetime access. Okay, but you got to obviously make the balance payment. Okay. Carla, welcome. See, I already know what's going to happen to you guys. I already know the success that you're going to have as long as you do the work. I'm going to assume that you're going to do the work. So for me, it's easy. And I know it's, there's an investment and there's time that you're going to have to spend doing this. And like, I understand that there's some fear and trepidation, and those are all normal feelings. I don't feel those feelings for you because I know where you're headed as long as you're going to do the work. Okay. So, you will one day look back just like Heidi and Ibrahim and Amber and just all the people that you heard from today, and you'll be like, okay, well, I'm glad I put one foot in front of the other and just did this.